Pranam as the sweet of Sud and Sri Aurobindo. Welcome you all in for this most blessing moment at the beginning of this new year. In this glorious morning, we are here to discuss few lines on the lights of Mother and Sri Aurobindo about life and yoga. So, all life is yoga. Whenever we are going about this journey of the life, this life is not end, only life. Before we have spent many lives, this one we are standing at the present verse, and afterwards many lives we are also going to enjoy. The very straight line between our birth and death, that is our lifeline. So how much we have already spent, how long we are going, that only the divine knows, we don't know. But actually we are playing here our parts. Author and actor is he with us for roles. We have been given some roles and we are actually fulfilling. Quoting, defining lives here on those spells, writes here, our life on this earth is a divine poem that we are translating into earthly language. Very beautiful, bright example. Our life on this earth is a divine poem. We have written so many poems, but this life is particularly on this earth is a divine poem. And we are here. What is our role? We are translating it into earthly language. So we are here. Author and actor is he with us for roles. Second definition, we are here to translating this earth divine poem into earthly language. Proceeding forward, we are seeing all life is only a lavish, manifold opportunity given to us to discover, to realize, and to express the divine. As we all know, regard your life as you only given you only for the divine work and to help in the divine manifestation. The brief purpose, the entire purpose of life is to help in the divine, to work divine work and to help in the divine manifestation. Here another way, in another terms, Sri Aurobindo tries to explain us all life is only a lavish and manifold opportunity. This opportunity have been given, lavish and manifold opportunity given to us, not ours. It is given to ours for three purposes. One is to discover, second is to realize, and third is to express the divine. So these are all the three methods: discover, realize, and express the divine. When it is to discover, means it is there somewhere else, divine is there. Realize, he is in a unrealized format, and express means he is now unexpressed. So three things we have to: undiscovered, unrealized, and unexpressed. Naturally we are here, we are given the opportunity to discover, realize, and express the divine. Next, life too is a power of the divine and not creation of some magnificent chance or the dark titanic influence. Sometimes we hear the call, the ego of the Lord of Death, that I have created all I devour. I am the immobile in which all things move. I am the nude in which they cease. That man has no other help than only death. So naturally, whenever we have taken birth, our only orientation, it has been told, it has been read, Jatasya hi dhubang mrityu. When we have taken birth, naturally our goal, the only purpose, the only end is there, only destiny is that death. So naturally we have taken death is the goal. For that actually, Lord of Death actually it tries to threaten us. Actually, he is the immobile in which all things move. He is the nude in which they cease, we cease. Soul is actually one refuge of our soul is one refuge of the death. The gods whom man prays can help not man. They are actually these gods that they are the imaginations and the moods of the death. So naturally we are fearful, we are threatened. So naturally Sri Aurobindo actually tries to console to give some solace. Actually, he actually prepares us to say, life is not the power of life is through the power of the divine. It is the power of the divine that life force is the ordinary human life force or a small energy is not there. Actually, this is the life is packed with the power of the divine, not the creation of some malignant chance or some dark titanic impulse. So naturally, with the power of the divine, life is rich. Naturally, it has to, this power will never cease. Naturally, we have to go forward. We have to discover, express, realize the divine for whom actually we are here. Next, in life itself, there is the seed of its own salvation. Naturally, we feel threatened, we feel actually packed with miseries when we see that we have no salvation, this sin, this error, this obscurity. Actually, it is there, these stupidities are actually, they are creating problems, tensions throughout. But actually, Sri Aurobindo actually tries to explain, tries to remind us that the seed of its own salvation in life there is. Inside the life, in life, there is the seed of the own salvation. It is from the life energy that we must get its leverage. With this life energy, we must get the leverage because the seed is there inside us. No, nothing to worry. We have not to go there to beg for this salvation. All life is a growth of the soul from the darkness towards the light. 3-4 things we see. One is darkness, another is inconscient, another is woe, another is death. So naturally suffering, these are the things we are facing naturally in the way. So actually man is actually overwhelmed within these things. But actually you feel here in the course, these are not the original things, but actually for whom the world was created. 3 or 4 definitions we can see. Suffering, some secret snapshots, tragic mask. Whenever and wherever we find suffering, we get threatened. Naturally, we will feel that is a mask. Behind the mask, some secret rapture is there, present there. This darkness is the magic of the self-hidden light. Light has hidden itself, self-hidden. So it has become the darkness. This death, what is the end? We feel we are afraid of death. Naturally, this death is instrument of perpetual life. That is only an instrument for the perpetual life. So we should not be fearful. Naturally, life is a growth of the soul. So naturally, it is not nothing about mind, vital or physical. It is the growth of the soul out of darkness towards the light. So we are starting from the darkness and we are moving towards the higher light. This is from this light, darkness towards the light. It is the journey of the soul through the evolutionary process in the process of yoga. Then Sri Aurobindo, another time course here. Life is indispensable to the completeness of creative supramental realization, creative, complete, spiritual realization. But life released, transformed and uplifted. It is not bound. So naturally life must be released, transformed and uplifted. So naturally this is the process. Life has got its destiny. Life has to go forward with these definitions. Naturally one or two definitions still we can hold. So life must blossom like a flower offering itself for the divine. Life must blossom like a flower offering itself for the divine. Whenever we know that the term Surje Udite Padmang Vikasati means whenever sun rises in the east, so naturally this lotus, it will actually flower, blossom itself. So naturally, it will naturally blossom only for the presence and for the sake of the divine, for its beloved or God, that is actually the sun god. So naturally, like this sun god and this lotus, for us, our life must blossom like a flower, offering itself for the divine. Our life, the whole purpose is the divine. Without divine, nothing is there. For a spiritual seeker, divine is all. So another way, here in the course, it is only when life turns towards the divine. When life turns towards the divine, only when. the soul can truly come forward. When life has turned towards the divine, so soul inside us, actually it is now obscure state in a passive partner. It is actually no dynamism has gained. So it is actually this divine inhabitant, spark of the divine, spark of the absolute. Actually it is in the now in the concealed stage. When life is turned towards the divine, in that case, the soul will come forward. The very nature of soul or psychic being, progressive form of soul is psychic being. So the very nature of soul or psychic being is turned towards the divine truth. Its nature is to turn towards the divine truth, like the sunflower to the sun. As the sunflower rotates or moves like with the motion of the sun, and it has totally surrendered to the sun, just like that, the very nature of soul or psychic being is to turn towards the divine truth, as the sunflower turns towards the sun. So naturally, second part comes, what we see the second part, life and yoga. All life is yoga, entire life, the many lives we have spent so far, this life and the lives, as many lives as we are going to take birth upon this earth in this evolutionary process towards our perfection and transformation, entire life is known to be all life. Sri Aurobindo quotes it, all life is yoga. Life alone is a field of yoga. You can't do anything somewhere, anywhere. Life is only the field of yoga. We can practice it, we can go through it, we can get the guidance, we can move forward, we can rise, we can rewrite the structure of the soul here. So life alone is the field in this yogic process, nothing else. Then another comes, yoga does not mean that rejection of the power of life, nothing to be rejected, everything has to be transformed. Not the middle path we have to change, we have to see the perfection. Without perfection, nothing can be achieved in this yoga. So this yoga is the yoga of perfection and transformation. But nothing to be rejected in this power of life, but an inner transformation, nothing to be rejected. All things have to be transformed, inner transformation and change of the spirit in the life and the use of the powers. So naturally, first thing is inner transformation, second thing is the change of spirit in the life and the use of these powers for this transformation and perfection. Then we can go further. When we are going life, every time actually the ignorant people are staying under the ignorance, the veil of the ignorance, they are only chanting of life. And whenever they are chanting of their own life, simultaneously we can hear, we can sound the sound, God, divine. So life is not our goal. Life is only a base, a field on which we can adopt the process of yoga, lead the spiritual life, move towards the divine, and through the spiritual life is spiritual life. If nobody can have supramental realization if he is not having the spiritual. So naturally, from this religious, moral and everything, ordinary consciousness, we have to rise up to spiritual level. After achieving the spiritual layers and stepping forward with these steps, naturally we will go for the supramental realization. The secret source of in yoga is regarded not only on the aims of to be pursued in life, but the whole life. It can't be done within a single life because it is a long process. As we know, evolutionary is a long process. And the road we are actually treading, the method we are actually adopting, it is a long process. So if we adopt this evolutionary process, it will take a long time. Naturally, to get this shortcut, to have everything in a shortest span of time, is this yoga is the real method, and this yoga is the secret of success is in yoga. So naturally this yoga, this spiritual process, this endeavor, and the help of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo, for that they have come. So this actually, this path will be shortened and we will achieve our goal in a short span of time. Then actually sometimes we feel, this is pretty, this is big, this is small, this is neglectable, this is rejectable. So many questions occur before our eyes, and we consider petty and small, big, small like this. Sri Aurobindo clarifies it in all. If all life is to be yoga, If all life is to be yoga, what is there that can be called petty or of no importance? So everything has its value, everything has its place, everything has its own importance. So nothing is petty or small because all life is yoga. We have to take everything in life, not to reject anything, not to kill or impair the life processes. By the yoga, it is not only seek the infinity, but also to call upon the infinity to unfold himself in human life. So actually the purpose of yoga, the method of yoga, what is there? To call upon the infinity to unfold himself in human life. Not in the upper hemisphere or parabdha. He has to descend here into the human life. Infinity has to come here. Now itself he is a folding condition. He has to unfold himself in the human life. Not only to seek, we are there simultaneously, we are seeking for the infinity, we are taking the guidance, we are moving forward, we are adopting the evolutionary process, but actually the whole in order to call him, the purpose is there infinity to unfold himself in the human life. All life is a yoga of nature seeking to manifest. God now is in unmanifest position. He has not entered into the life in a concealing position. So all life is a yoga. So this life, all life, whatever is gone now and until another where we are proceeding, all life is a yoga of nature seeking to manifest God in himself. In seeking to unmanifest God has to manifest God, unmanifest God has to manifest himself in itself. Then, truth of the spirit has not to be merely thought but to be lived. The spiritual truth of the spirit, it has not to be dreamed, it has not to be spoken, it has not to be debated, not to be argued, but to be lived. Live always, but how to live? How to survive? Live always as if you were under the very eye of the Supreme, because he is really present. Always behave as if the mother was looking at you. Another message, because for indeed she is always present. Whenever you go, wherever you see, you covertly or overtly, seeking hiddenly or clearly, because mother is there, her presence is there, observing, looking, guiding, taking care. So always behave as if the mother was looking at you, for indeed she is always present. Then another thing is also coming. Live always as if you were under the very eye of the Supreme, because Supreme is there. He is actually seated here. He is observing, he is guiding, he is initiating, he is actually taking care, he is actually uplifting us, he is actually pinching us, he is actually carrying us towards our own path, their own destiny, because he is everywhere is present. So if we can be able to understand and judge and adopt the spiritual methods and the spiritual life, the yogic life, then naturally what will come? Life now became a sure approach to God. Life moving here and there, life now becomes a sure approach to God. The existence, a divine experiment. Wherever we are living, our existence will be a divine experiment. Then cosmos is the soul's opportunity. In the cosmos where we are staying will be the soul's opportunity for the soul. So naturally, this body, the life, wherever actually we are living, this is a conception and a birth. This life, a conception and a birth of spirit in matter. Now the main inside matter, the spirit will conceive, will take birth in the human form. For that we are waiting. Our life, it is given us only for the divine work and to help in the divine manifestation. The world is preparing for a big change. Will you help? We must say yes, because we have to give the consent. Once we have given consent, naturally we have to follow the rules. We have to surrender at the supreme, at the feet of the lotus feet of the mother. We have to adopt the absolute vast supreme surrender. Naturally, whenever we have surrendered, we have taken the charge. When we have consented, when we have taken, you have tell yes. Naturally, we have to go by the spiritual process, spiritual life, and this method of yoga must be adopted in our life. Whenever we are going, being guided, carried away, carried and uplifted by the Supreme Divine Mother and the Sri Aurobindo, naturally our goal will be nearing, and we will reach the goal, our destiny. naturally in a lumin towards a luminosity our journey will come. We will reach our destiny in a short span in this evolutionary process. What we know is a slow process. Naturally, when they will uplift, it will be shorter and we will reach that divine goal. She is the golden beast, the wonderful fire. Vande Mataram. Thanks.